Chapter 3954. Great Dao World Extinguishing Palm. The Redstone Emperor's method was simple. Go to the origin ancestral land and sense the Great Daos there. After all the Great Daos of heaven and earth emanate from the origin ancestral land. Once there, everything becomes clear. As for how to use those Daos, Lin Moyu had his own way. As long as he entered that realm, he could grasp those Daos. The real issue was how to deliver those Daos to the gate. In the soul void, the great world couldn't be carried along, so he couldn't bring it to the outside of the origin ancestral land. This meant he needed a way to refine the power of these Daos. How to refine Great Dao power was a problem Lin Moyu had to solve himself. The Redstone Emperor could only provide the approach. The origin ancestral land radiates across the soul void, and breaking through the void space allows one to see its projection, but that's only a projection. To truly refine all Daos, Lin Moyu would have to find the real thing, not just its shadow. Its true location is at the center of Void Kunlun. After the Kunlun Emperor took that step, the Void Kunlun Great Spirit domain sealed itself off. Outsiders couldn't find or enter it. Fortunately, the Redstone Emperor had a way in, having visited many times and being close friends with the Kunlun Emperor. He possessed a method for entering the Void Kunlun Great Spirit domain. This solved the soul voids.
Virtual
Side of the Great Dao, but since yin and yang, virtual and real, must be combined, Lin Moyu would also need to find the
real
yang side of the Great Dao. The origin ancestral land's entrance may shift, but its true body never moves. Only a handful of eternal beings know its exact location. That wasn't a problem. Lin Moyu could ask an Yuyen, the Lord of Cause and Effect, who would likely tell him. Lin Moyu formed a rough plan. First, go to the origin ancestral land in the soul void, find a way to refine the Great Daos and bring them to the gate. Then, find an Yuyen to learn the origin ancestral land's location in the real world and repeat the process there. Once both yin and yang Daos were refined, he might be able to open the gate perfectly. At present, that gate was his top priority. Only by obtaining the heaven shrouding stone behind it could he break free from the origin continent's control and truly be free. He needed a stone for himself, and others like the three ancestors also needed one, along with the immortality gem. He realized he still had much to do, and a few thousand years might not be enough. The Redstone Emperor summoned a large stone and quickly shaped it into a treasure resembling a spirit domain disk. Since this was the Redstone Emperor's true body, any small piece was excellent for crafting.
This spirit domain disk records the locations of all the great spirit domains,
he said. Lin Moyu was delighted this would help him navigate the soul void far more efficiently. Before, he could only guess the direction, wasting time.
Thank you,
he said, accepting the disc without hesitation. The Redstone Emperor added,
this is all I can do to help. If you need anything, just call. But be careful, Void Kunlun is dangerous. I've encountered trouble there before, not fatal, but still troublesome, and that was countless years ago.
He then shared some of his experiences in Void Kunlun. Lin Moyu listened carefully, his expression serious.
Thank you for the warning. I'll be careful.
An ancient, desolate aura filled the space. This place was as ancient as the Redstone Emperor himself. With the Emperor's old affliction healed, perhaps new worlds would one day emerge here, bringing new life to this ancient void. Lin Moyu took out the Spirit Domain Disc, which pointed toward the Void Kunlun Great Spirit Domain. To get there, he would pass through the Tianyu and Tianzhou Great Spirit Domains. He could detour through the vacuum between them, but that would be farther. Since he needed to visit those domains anyway, he decided to go through them.
Now I see how the 9 great spirit domains are arranged,
he thought. The Soul Void's 9 great spirit domains formed a spiral, with Void Kunlun at the center, surrounded by Tianzhou, then Tianyu, and further out by Shaguang, Zhenmu, Redstone, Morning Bell, Evening Drum, and Golden Furnace. Their positions weren't fixed, as they slowly rotated around Void Kunlun, sometimes drawing closer or farther over millions of years. After each resonance of the 9 treasures, their speed, distance, and direction would change. As Lin Moyu set out for Void Kunlun, he summoned Little Python as his mount, set up a tea table, and enjoyed the journey. The vacuum between domains was vast. Traveling in a straight line would still take over 100 years. He didn't tell little Python what had happened, and the snake wisely didn't ask, simply following the red line in silence. As he traveled, Lin Moyu pondered a name for his palm strike. This was the first technique he had truly created himself. All previous ones were awakened, inherited, or fused. This time, he had comprehended it through forcibly raising his realm with Origin's secret arts. After more than a century of use, it was nearly perfect. After some thought, he murmured,
This palm once destroyed worlds, borrowing the power of the Great Dao to bring extinction. In that case, let's call it the Great Dao World Extinguishing Palm.
He looked into the void and solemnly declared,
I, Lin Moyu, hereby create a technique, the Great Dao World Extinguishing Palm.
At that moment, his physical body in the real world, which had remained silent, also spoke.
I, Lin Moyu, hereby create a technique, the Great Dao World Extinguishing Palm.
Boom! Heaven and earth shook. Black clouds gathered in both the soul void and the real world. The tribulation of the Great Dao descended. This palm was too defiant, not meant to exist, nor to have its name passed down. Since it had to exist, it had to be tested by the Great Dao's tribulation. Lin Moyu understood this well. He'd seen and survived tribulations before, though those had been for the elemental lich. This time it was for himself. But his tribulation was lighter, as it was for a technique that defied the heavens. Little Python trembled.
Master, are you all right?
Lin Moyu smiled.
No problem. Watch me break it.
Origin's secret art. Gather power. His aura soared, instantly reaching that realm. After over 100 years of practice, he was now a master. He struck with a palm, gathering countless great Daos into a single strike and smashing it down onto the tribulation. Chapter 3955. The Art of Eternity. With a single palm, the newly formed tribulation thundercloud was instantly shattered. However, this palm also expended 99% of its power after smashing the Great Dao tribulation. It didn't travel much farther before dissipating. Over the past 100 years, Lin Moyu's control over his power had reached perfection. He could not only control his own strength, but also sense the opponent's power and match it accordingly. This time was no different. He sensed the strength of the Great Dao tribulation and used a similar amount of force to break it. It was the same in the soul void and the real world. Lin Moyu performed the same action in both realms. Little Python stared in shock. It had thought Lin Moyu was joking, but he was utterly serious.
Master, won't you cause trouble doing this?
Little Python asked worriedly. Lin Moyu replied,
It shouldn't. The Great Dao tribulation is a form of recognition. If you can overcome it, it won't make things hard for you. It's not like the true punishment of heaven and earth.
The elemental lich had once violated the rules and suffered a true heavenly punishment, nearly dying. That was truly dangerous. This was not. Lin Moyu now understood the Great Dao of heaven and earth and knew his limits. The shattered tribulation began to reform. This was only the beginning, not the end. As expected, Lin Moyu wasn't surprised. Sensing the strength of the new tribulation, he struck again, his soul shattering and being reborn 3 times in succession. Each time, he smashed the tribulation, and after several cycles, it finally stopped reforming. Lin Moyu faintly sensed that his Great Dao World Extinguishing Palm had been recognized and recorded by heaven and earth. At that moment, a giant eye appeared in the void, the same emotionless eye as before, gazing at Lin Moyu. He smiled and greeted it.
Long time no see.
The giant eye was cold and impassive, but Lin Moyu could see a hint of surprise, even strangeness, within it. Suddenly, a faint light appeared in the eye, cutting through the void and landing on Lin Moyu, transforming into a thin thread that sank into his soul. Only Lin Moyu could see this thread. It seemed both real and unreal. A voice echoed from deep within his soul.
Created an eternal art, granted a wisp of heaven and earth fortune.
A wave of understanding washed over him. This thread was heaven and earth fortune, and the voice was that of the world itself. If he gathered 10 such threads, he could knock on the door of the return to Origin Land and achieve eternity. But since his great Dao was already in the return to origin land, he didn't need heaven and earth fortune. No wonder the giant I looked at him so strangely. It really was redundant, but Lin Moyu figured a little extra fortune couldn't hurt. If he could gather hundreds or thousands, maybe it would have other uses. The eye watched him for a while longer, then closed and disappeared. As it shut, Lin Moyu and Little Python were plunged into darkness again. The eye's power was still beyond Lin Moyu's comprehension. It seemed to represent the world itself unfathomable. Regaining his composure, Lin Moyu reflected on what he had just learned. His world-extinguishing palm had been recognized by heaven and earth. He felt a sense of accomplishment.
An eternal art. So my technique has reached the level of eternity. That means the world-extinguishing palm is on par with the arts of the eternal beings. But my cultivation at the time was already beyond eternity. It seems the issue isn't the technique, but my own realm. Eternal beings are all Great Dao lords, able to wield their own Great Dao, and all their techniques are rooted in it. I, on the other hand, forcibly fuse many Daos together without a true core. If I become a Great Dao lord and fuse the immortality Great Dao into it, the world-extinguishing palm will become even stronger.
His eyes shone.
Then I'll rename it the Immortality Great Dao Palm. Maybe I'll get another wisp of heaven and earth fortune.
Little Python called out.
Master, are you all right?
Could understand every word Lin Moyu said, but not their meaning when put together. Lin Moyu laughed.
You're not at the right realm, so you wouldn't understand. Let's keep going.
Little Python obediently continued the journey. Lin Moyu began to ponder how to refine Great Dao power. Refining a single Great Dao's power was easy for him, but fusing and refining countless Daos together was the challenge. Using the world-extinguishing palm as a base, he would forcibly fuse the Daos, then refine them with his soul fire. The Daos controlled by the world-extinguishing palm could self-fuse into Great Dao origin energy, the very thing he needed to refine. In theory, this was possible, but in practice, it was extremely difficult. He could only maintain the world-extinguishing palm for 2 seconds, and in that time, not much could be done. After 2 seconds, he would die and need 3 seconds to be reborn, during which the soul fire would go out, causing the refining to fail. On the journey, he kept experimenting, failing repeatedly but constantly adjusting. He carefully controlled the power of the world-extinguishing palm, gradually reducing the amount of Daos he tried to fuse at once. If grabbing a handful didn't work, he'd try a pinch. If that failed, even less. With so many Daos, he just tried fewer at a time. As he left the Redstone Great Spirit domain and entered the vacuum, he decisively took out 3 pieces of redstone. As innate origin treasures, they naturally emitted Great Dao origin energy. The combined aura of 3 pieces was the perfect bait for attracting a Great Dao desolate beast. In less than 3 days, a desolate beast arrived, drawn by the scent. The undead servants killed it without hesitation, and Lin Moyu casually collected its essence, not caring much. He was focused on refining Great Dao power, dying countless times along the way. He was long used to dying, and reviving his soul had shattered more times than he'd eaten meals. Most people would use such a resurrection talent to save their lives. Only Lin Moyu used it to court death. Little Python could only watch helplessly, unable to stop him. Days passed, and every 10 days or so, another desolate beast would show up, far more efficient than hunting them down. However, no desolate beast kings appeared yet. They were still too close to the Great Spirit domain, where innate origin treasures interfered with their senses. Once they got farther out, the kings would appear. In the vacuum, the Great Dao power became clearer, greatly aiding Lin Moyu's experiments. After 5 years, he finally succeeded. He fused 100 Daos into a single mass, then refined it with his soul fire, keeping the fire alive during 3 rebirths. At last, he succeeded. A drop of liquid with a strange luster appeared in his palm. Chapter 3956. The bottle. The droplet was only the size of a fingernail, emitting a faint glow, its surface smooth like glass. It didn't radiate any light on its own and looked utterly ordinary even to a Dao Lord. It would seem unremarkable. But if placed before a Great Dao Lord, some might sense its uniqueness. If shown to an eternal being, they would likely be surprised, even shocked, and would study it as a precious treasure. In Lin Moyu's eyes, it emitted a faint Great Dao origin aura, similar to that of innate origin treasures, though the aura of innate treasures was much denser than that of his self-created droplet.
The number of Daos isn't enough, and I only fused a tiny bit of Dao power. If I could fuse more, maybe it really would become something like an innate origin treasure.
Lin Moyu was in high spirits, at least he'd succeeded. But his joy was short-lived, as the droplet's Great Dao origin aura began to dissipate, growing weaker by the moment. At this rate, it would vanish completely in under 10 minutes. The droplet came from the world, and in the end would simply return to it.
I need a container.
Lin Moyu muttered, comparing his fused droplet to natural treasures. He realized both contained Great Dao origin aura, the only difference was quantity. But the aura in treasures didn't dissipate, or at least did so extremely slowly, lasting for eons. The reason was that treasures themselves were special containers, able to store Great Dao origin aura. His fused droplet lacked such a container.
If the container is big and good enough, and I can fuse enough Great Dao origin aura, then I can artificially create an innate origin treasure. Since I made it myself, I can easily draw out its power, preserve it, and bring the aura back for use at the gate. So now, the question is, where do I find a container?
There were all kinds of void materials in the soul void, especially in the Jinmu Great Spirit domain, where he had traded for many. But these materials, each with their own properties, weren't of high enough grade to contain Great Dao origin aura. If he used other innate origin treasures, each already had its own main Dao, while his creation had none, so those weren't suitable containers either. The same went for innate void treasures. Their attributes would interfere, and while injecting origin aura might enhance them, it wouldn't allow them to serve as neutral containers. After much thought, he still hadn't found a suitable vessel.
What would make a good container? Should I create an array? But that seems difficult too.
Based on his understanding of arrays, he felt it would be hard to make one that could do the job. Suddenly, Little Python spoke up.
Master, why not try using Desolate Beast Essence?
Desolate Beast Essence? Lin Moyu's eyes lit up.
That might really work.
Desolate beasts are born from the accumulation of all sorts of Dao filth and impurities. Yet within their filthy bodies, pure essence capable of containing myriad Daos emerges. To balance soul and flesh, and to evolve and grow stronger, desolate beasts have an innate hunger for Great Dao origin aura. That's why they seek out innate origin treasures, not for the treasure itself, but for the aura within. If they crave Great Dao origin aura, then using Desolate Beast Essence as a container made sense. In theory, there was no problem, so it was time to try. Lin Moyu took out some Desolate Beast Essence and refined it with his Soul Fire. While not as destructive as the world-burning fire, Soul Fire was perfect for refining materials and pills, allowing for fine control, something the world-burning fire couldn't do. He treated the essence as raw material, and under the Soul Fire's heat, it gradually changed shape, becoming a bottle. The essence remained what it was, only its form had changed. Lin Moyu then set up a spatial array inside the bottle, allowing it to hold more. Next came fusing the Daos and refining the origin aura. Using his origin secret art, he raised his realm and began another round of risky experimentation. With prior experience, he succeeded much more quickly. After only 10 failures, he produced a droplet formed from the fusion of 100 Daos. The droplet emitted Great Dao origin aura, but was already starting to dissipate. Lin Moyu quickly placed it into the Desolate Beast Essence bottle. Bang! There was a soft sound as the spatial array inside the bottle shattered. The array simply wasn't strong enough to withstand the impact of the origin aura. But the Desolate Beast Essence itself was tough enough. Once the droplet entered, its aura stopped dissipating.
Success!
Lin Moyu was overjoyed. Desolate Beast Essence could indeed serve as a container for Great Dao origin aura, though spatial arrays weren't up to the task. A single bottle made from a lump of essence could hold at most 100 drops of origin aura, about the same as an average natural treasure.
Luckily, I have plenty of Desolate Beast Essence.
He had several hundred lumps, and would collect more in the future. If he refined all of it into bottles and filled them with fused origin aura, he was confident he could open the gate perfectly. Plus, the essence wouldn't go to waste. Any leftover could be absorbed by the great world.
Little Python, you've done a great service this time.
Lin Moyu patted its head, feeling very pleased. Little Python giggled.
It's my honor to help Master.
Lin Moyu said.
Merit deserves reward. These void soul pills are yours.
He tossed over 1,000 pills to Little Python, who swallowed them all in delight, storing them to eat slowly. Lin Moyu chuckled, preparing to raise his realm and fuse more deaths. 100 was no longer a problem. Next, he would try to fuse even more and refine even stronger origin aura. Just as he was about to begin, he looked up. Little Python shivered.
Master, a desolate beast king is coming.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Good timing. I want to see what kind of bottle I can make from a beast king's essence.
Now, no matter the grade, desolate beast essence was just a bottle in Lin Moyu's eyes. Chapter 3957. Delivering essence across endless miles. Having traveled far from the Great Spirit domain, the Great Dao Desolate Beast King finally detected the Great Dao origin aura from the innate origin treasure and locked onto their location, charging toward them. Little Python still trembled instinctively, but this time it was different from before. Over the years, Little Python had almost never run out of void soul pills. Though its realm hadn't changed, the most refined part of the pill's medicinal power had been absorbed by its true spirit. Normally, with so many void soul pills, even a cultivator would have reached the Dao Lord level by now. Little Python's realm remained the same, but it was genuinely growing stronger. This time, facing the approaching Great Dao Desolate Beast King, Little Python wasn't trembling from fear, but rather from a kind of disgust and intense aversion. It didn't say anything, but its expression and eyes told Lin Moyu just how much it hated the Beast King. This feeling came from its true spirit. It could only mean that in a past life, Little Python had crossed paths with a Great Dao Desolate Beast King. Lin Moyu could thus confirm that Little Python's previous life must have been extraordinary, or its true spirit wouldn't be so strong, nor would it be able to connect with this life in such a special way. In the distance, the void shattered, and the Beast King's true form appeared. A colossal creature burst out from a rift, and in that instant, Lin Moyu caught a glimpse of another world, countless soul flames burning, each representing a Great Dao Desolate Beast, innumerable and endless. Where Daos converged and filth accumulated, endless desolate beasts were born. Their homeland was a terrifying place. Even the Lord of Curses would be defeated and forced into dormancy there. That was not a place Lin Moyu could touch. Just one glance filled him with a sense of immense danger. The Beast King's soul charged out from its homeland, breaking through the barrier between reality and the soul void. Its fierce, murderous eyes locked onto the redstone in front of Lin Moyu, drawn by the Great Dao origin aura within. Suddenly, its gaze shifted to the bottle in Lin Moyu's hand, the bottle made from desolate beast essence, containing a single drop of freshly fused Great Dao origin aura.
Roar!
The Beast King let out an angry roar, its eyes filled with greed. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. It was the drop of pure Great Dao origin aura that attracted it even more than the massive redstone. Now he understood.
Although both are Great Dao origin aura, the redstone's aura is already attributed mainly the crimson blood Great Dao, while my fused drop is truly pure, with no attributes, making it even more attractive to the Beast King.
Just from the change in its gaze, Lin Moyu understood the cause and effect. The Beast King lunged, its eyes firing two beams, one at Lin Moyu, the other at Little Python. Desolate beasts are violent, destroying everything in their path. Little Python shrieked.
Be careful!
Even though it was afraid, it didn't retreat a step without Lin Moyu's order. The sword Dao Lich flew out, transforming into a giant sword to shield them. The Beast King's attack struck the sword, causing it to tremble, but it didn't give way. Lin Moyu shouted, his aura surging. Origin's secret art. Gather power. In a blink, he broke through to that mysterious realm.
Great Dao world extinguishing palm.
He struck, the palm print sweeping through the void. Though outwardly calm, it hid a storm of power within. The Beast King didn't take it seriously and charged head-on. When they collided, the Beast King let out a miserable scream, its soul shattered on the spot. One palm didn't kill it, but it was half dead. Now, fear finally appeared in its eyes, and it instinctively tried to flee.
Great Dao World Extinguishing Palm.
Another palm struck, sweeping through the void, giving the Beast King no chance to escape. It was killed instantly. After 2 strikes, Lin Moyu's soul collapsed and was reborn 3 times in purple light. Once, Lin Moyu could only run from a Beast King. Now, he could kill one effortlessly. The difference was unimaginable. Little Python cheered.
That's what you get for roaring. In front of Master, who do you think you are? Serves you right.
It was really just flattering Lin Moyu, but he didn't mind. The fact that Little Python could hold its ground was already impressive. After the Beast King died, it left behind a mass of Beast King essence, far stronger and more radiant than ordinary desolate beast essence. Lin Moyu's soul flame began refining it. The process was slower than with ordinary essence, but he wasn't in a hurry, slowly shaping it. Half a day later, a beautiful treasure bottle was formed. Lin Moyu sensed it.
The internal space is about 100 times larger, and the quality is much higher. It can preserve Great Dao origin aura for much longer, at least 10,000 years, without significant loss.
Beast King essence was indeed far superior. 1 bottle equaled 100 regular ones. Lin Moyu wished more Beast Kings would show up so he could collect more essence. From then on, Lin Moyu was busier than ever, constantly risking death to master more Daos and fuse even stronger origin aura. He died and revived again and again, gradually improving, and the origin aura he fused became ever stronger. The number of bottles in his possession grew, each filled with Great Dao origin aura. From time to time, more desolate beasts would arrive, about 1 a month, and every year or so, a Beast King would break through the void to
deliver
its essence from countless miles away. The number of desolate beasts dying to Lin Moyu increased, and he sensed that his karmic ties with them were growing deeper. But he had no choice. He needed their essence and couldn't back down for the sake of karma. He also kept the Redstone Emperor's warning in mind. Never take out more than 10 pieces of treasure at once, or he might attract a desolate beast emperor. Those are on par with eternal beings. If one came, he'd have to run, and even then, escape wasn't guaranteed. 50 years later, he was halfway to his destination. Lin Moyu glanced to the left, the direction of the Jinmu Great Spirit Domain. Originally, he'd planned to refine Void Soul pills and trade them there for materials, but now that was less urgent. If he could improve his Great Dao origin aura, making it attribute specific, he could create something akin to innate origin treasures, summon elemental liches, or even merge it into the Great World to form a new Dao. If successful, he wouldn't need to trade for materials at Jinmu. He remained wary of the human sovereign and the Woodkill World Lord. Neither were easy to deal with. Suddenly, a voice rang out in his soul.
Dao friend, please wait.